Preparing to live stream the meeting. It is loading.
It's live. So hi, everyone. Welcome to our Global Ed Student Chat for November. Our topic today is service learning, and we're so excited to have you join us. If you're here for the first time, the Global Ed Student Chat is a student-led Twitter chat that connects K-12 students around the world to discuss topics and questions related to character education, social justice, citizenship. Global Ed Student Chat creates opportunities for students to network with others, gain perspective, build relationships with a new learning partner in a literacy-rich learning environment. It allows them to experience social media as a powerful platform for learning and establish a positive digital footprint. So thank you so much for joining us. We have guest panelists today, and we may have our team that will be joining us in just a few moments here. So I'm going to ask, there's Sam. Hi, Sam. We'll give you a minute here. We're going to get Darcy. We'll get Darcy to get us started with the Tech Talk. Darcy, you need to start that again. There you go.
Sorry.
That's okay.
If you are watching us on YouTube, you will notice that there's a comment space to your right. This is a great way for you to share your own thoughts and ideas and to add to your thinking and get involved in the conversation. If you have Twitter, follow the hashtag GlobalEdStudentChat to read the ideas, thoughts, questions shared by others. Use Global Ed Student Chat to add your thinking and get involved in the conversation. Feel free to share your name and where in the world you are joining from today. If you ask questions, we will bring them to the panel. Please remember that the audience for this chat is K-12, so your comments and questions should be appropriate for all ages.
Thank you so much, Darcy. And we do have some global participants today. So I'm going to invite, why don't we start with our guests? I'm going to invite our guests to introduce themselves. Then we'll move on to our team. So Caroline, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you're from and what your passions are?
Well, hi, I'm Caroline and I'm from Norway. And I'm passionate about well, many things, but mostly learning and education. That's everything I got.
And where in Norway are you from? I've never been to Norway.
40 minutes from Oslo.
All right, and tell everybody what time it is there.
It's 7:05 p.m.
So thank you so much for joining us above and beyond school hours. We love it. We also have a few friends from Texas. So I'm going to have you introduce yourselves, Brady and Wyatt.
Hi there, I'm Wyatt Smith. I'm from Texas, north of Dallas, Salina, Texas. And I'm in 11th grade. I would say I'm passionate about sports, particularly football, especially right now, since we're about to go into playoffs. So, yeah.
I'm Brady Poche, and I'm also in 11th grade. And yes, that's about it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And what time is it there in Texas?
It's 1 p.m.
No,
so
12 p.m. My bad.
12 p.m. Okay, so we're 1 p.m. Eastern time, 7:05 in Oslo, and 12 p.m. in Texas. Awesome. Our members of our team that are here with us today are Darcy and Sam. So Darcy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself again. Hi, my name is Darcy. I attend Goderich, which is in the AMDSB school board in Ontario. I'm in grade 9, and this is my second year of the chat. It is currently 1:06 p.m. here.
Awesome. And Sam?
Hi, I'm Sam. I've been in this chat since it started, so 3 years now. I live in Listowel, Ontario, go to LDSS. It is currently 1:07 now.
Well, there you go. Perfect. I will introduce myself. My name is Jennifer Casatodd. I am a teacher librarian in Aurora, Ontario, Canada, and excited. I've been here for 4 years at this school. I've been with the chat since it was Ontario Educational Student Chat. Super excited about amplifying student voice, so I'm very happy to be part of the team. And our newest adult mentor, Michael.
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Michael Drezick, and I am the District Technology Integration Specialist for Lakeshore CSD in Angola, New York. Currently participating in Microsoft Global Connect. So that's been an exciting part of our day, and very interested in the topic of this month on service learning. So thank you to have me as part of this team. Really looking forward to it.
Amazing. Thank you, Michael. And Sam, can you talk to us about our norms? And let me preface this. Our norms are our guidelines for how we work together in this online space. And the students who were on the original OnEd Student Chat created them collaboratively. So Sam, if you can share those.
Yeah, sure. So we have just a few norms. So we have 20 minutes or so to to discuss one or more questions. Please be mindful that this is a chat that's open to K to 12 students. Active participation from classes who are watching. All comments made during the chat should be positive and productive. And everyone is entitled to their own opinion. You may not agree with something someone has said, but we ask that when challenging an idea, you respectfully disagree with the idea, not the individual person.
Thank you so much, Sam. So just in terms of how you participate, you can, we're going to have Sam, who's going to be looking for questions on the YouTube chat platform. And Michael will bring back your questions or comments from Twitter into the main group. So, and today we're going to be talking about service learning. And so we thought it might be a good idea to talk to you about what service learning means before we get in and start to talk about the chat itself or the questions themselves. So service learning refers to learning that actively involves students in a variety of experiences outside of the school, which will often benefit or be connected with their curriculum in some way. And often it's about community based programs or programming that also involves student reflection. So Darcy, if you could start us off with our first question, that would be awesome.
Sure. So our first question for today is, how do you choose the right service learning experience for you?
I can answer that one. So for this one, you can just choose a service or a topic that you're really passionate in, and also just something that you want to grow in, pretty much.
And if you try something out, let's say you go and help out with a community blood drive, you try that out, help set that all up, and maybe you don't like that, so then maybe you go and do a food drive. And I think that just kind of helps out with what works out for you.
So I'm hearing that it's not necessarily, you know, something that may fit what you want right off the bat. You may have to try more than one thing. Okay, thank you. Darcy?
Sure. So I feel like the main things when looking for a service learning experience for you is looking at first like what your community needs, also what interests you and what special skills you might have that could benefit your community. For example, if you're interested in helping the elderly, there's also a need for support in supporting the elderly in your community, and you have a strong social and communication skills. Maybe you could volunteer at a nursing home or something like that.
Thank you. Caroline, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I think the most important thing about choosing the right learning service learning experience is to pick something you think you can have fun with and really grow and have a great experience that you might want to do later.
I love that. So I love what all of you said. So it's connected to not just what your community needs, but as you're suggesting, Caroline, with maybe what you might be interested in. So you get a feel for that interest.
And I love this, like just to piggyback on what Caroline said, Maybe it's something that helps you discover maybe what your passions are. Follow something around your interests. If it can connect back to your curriculum, even better. But really to use it as a way to maybe figure out more about yourself as an individual. Self-awareness. This is your future, and this is a great opportunity to explore in a relatively low risk environment, in my opinion. So, if it were me when I was back in high school, I don't know if I would have been passionate about education. This is where I ended up. My service learning was around things. It was around the service industries like teaching is, but I was at, senior homes, and I was out in the community with people in the government trying to explore what that looked like. Those are a few of my thoughts.
Thank you. And I think that really leads well into our second question. So Darcy, do you want to share what our second question is?
Sure. So our second question is, what do you gain from service learning, and how might the experience benefit you in the future?
I'll kind of share throughout my experiences with helping others in the community and doing different service projects and such, that whenever we're done and we're finished with that said project, I have a good feeling inside that I know that I did the right thing and that I made the world a better place. So I feel like that helps me in the future because it makes me want to continue to help out the community and those around me that are not necessarily in school.
Thank you for that. Could you tell us, is there one experience in particular where you felt, that you really did contribute positively and it made you feel well, that you wanted to share with us?
Well, I'll give you one. So a few years ago, I helped out with mulching somebody's yard and kind of just cleaning up their whole yard. And at first I was like, okay, it's physical work, this isn't going to be good. But after I finished, I felt like it just made my day. And I knew that it made the other person's day. And so it just made me feel good.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to quickly, Erin just joined us. So if you could quickly, we're on question number 2, Erin, but if you could quickly say hello and introduce yourself, that would be awesome.
Sure. Hi. Sorry I'm late. I've been trying to find which areas of my house the internet works in, but I'm Erin. I'm a first-year student at the University of Toronto right now. I just finished high school at Cardinal Carter. Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you for coming. We are just, I'll let you get settled. We are just talking about question number 2. We're asking about community service opportunities and how they benefit you in the future. Darcy, go ahead.
I feel like definitely the whole idea of just feeling a sense of accomplishment and happiness and feeling like you've really impacted someone's life is the main thing. But I feel like after all of that, you feel another sense of initiative to take charge and go help again in someone in your community. I feel like the great thing about service learning is that it's just it makes you want to do it over and over again. So it's just you continuously making a good impact in your community. I feel like it can teach you a lot about respect and responsibility and people, and give you different perspectives on different people's lives and stuff like that.
Also, just to add on to what Jennifer was saying earlier, I'm in this thing called Young Life, and it's an organization where we help younger children with we help them with the Word of God. And I don't know if you guys are all Christians or not, but this is this organization just kind of helps out with that, and I also get that sense of accomplishment and pride, and just knowing that I've helped somebody at the end of the day.
Thank you, Brady, so much for that. I know I teach in a Catholic school, and Erin has that, but everyone has a different experience in terms of whether or not their experiences are connected with a faith community. That's not always the case. So thank you for sharing that perspective.
Yeah, so to add on, I think the more community service that you get involved in, you also get inspired to maybe start one of your own, like a club or an initiative of your own. And I think students can also show their leadership through that and gain a lot of valuable experience.
Yeah, and we don't have the concept in Norway, so I don't really know anything about what you're talking about. But I think you gain new perspectives, and when you see people in a different situation than you are in, and you think, and maybe you get a new perspective of how good you have in life and how you can help others with what you already have.
So thank you, Caroline. And that brings up a really interesting point. When we're talking global, I know here in Ontario, there is a requirement. You cannot graduate from high school unless you've done 40 hours of community service. And that is, in some capacity, you need to go and volunteer in a community of some sort. So in Norway, that's not the case at all?
No, we don't have anything like that, but we do have youth enterprises. So different studies can go and create their own store or their own brand. So at my school, we have something that called Klesskapet, the closet, and they sell used clothes and other used things to save the environment. We have things like that. We don't have we don't have service learning. It's something you do on your own time.
Interesting. And then maybe Brady and Wyatt, can you bring the perspective of Texas? Do you have something where you're required to do community service?
No, ma'am, we do not.
We have, I think there's a club that you can join, or National Honor Society. And so with that, you have to have so many hours of community service to stay in that club or that society. I guess you would call it a club. And that looks good on resumes and college applications. So, yeah.
And for me, I hear service learning, and I know in Norway, Caroline's saying that we don't really have anything. I feel like everybody is kind of doing something in this way, whether we might not call it that or have a requirement. I feel like, some of the best students that are going after it to do well in their future are finding these opportunities and creating if not by required, creating these opportunities for themselves, which is definitely inspiring to me as an educator to see people like the young people that are here on this call that are joining in on the Twitter chats. I know that these are students that are out there making a difference in their community.
For sure. Sam, is there anything, or Michael, do we have any contributions from either Twitter or YouTube about either question 1 or 2? I forgot to check in after question 1.
I haven't seen anything on YouTube yet.
Okay.
Yep, Twitter is quiet right now, so this is where the conversation is happening. I saw Rolla mention that she would be watching the replay with her students and that they would be chiming in after the fact. So it's probably a busy time of month for some classrooms, but so I always love following the slow chat through the rest of the month.
For sure. I do have Robin, who just contributed from Silver Pine PS. She told us that they had a fall ball last week where they raised $210 through the sales of healthy snacks and 207 batteries for techs. Zinc Saves Lives Foundation. Well, I've never heard of that. I'll have to go and look that up. So thank you, Robin. And yes, we do look forward to contributions later on in the month. So Darcy, does anyone want to add to that question before we move on to question number 3? All right, so Darcy, take us to question 3, please.
Sure. The third question is, how can you engage and motivate a diversity of students to become involved in service learning?
And that is a good and tough question. So who would like to start our conversation off? And I think when we were talking about this, one of the contributors is not actually on panel, but her wondering was, sometimes you see this and hear the same voices. How do you go into the school community? How might you motivate people from different who have different perspectives, different ethnicities, in order to do some of this work?
So I would start by setting a goal. So I'm just gonna bring in a food drive because it's kind of a big thing, especially at this time of year for us, Thanksgiving. And you have to set a goal, say we have to collect so many cans, so 20,000 cans by this date. And by doing that, you're involving everyone else, and maybe you add incentives along the way. So maybe if it's like a school thing that we're doing it, collect 20,000 cans. And the incentive would be if your class donates the most cans, then you'll get a pizza party or something like that. And I'll kind of share another example. An Eagle Project for scouting is another great opportunity that people have to really do it on their own and create a project to, I don't know, it'll build up life skills, and I am trying to earn mine currently, so yeah.
I love that idea of life skills. I'm just going to jump in and ask a question because I often wonder about this. So if we're offering external things like a pizza party, does that take away from this idea that you were talking about before in terms of we do it because we know it's good and it makes us feel good? I've always wondered about that. Anyway, I don't want to derail the conversation, but I wanted to throw that in.
Okay. Well, Sam, unless you want to expand on that, or.
Well, yeah, so my school just recently has done 2 different fundraisers for food bank and recycling markers. And there was the reward factor of it too, that, oh, if your first period class brings in the most amount of food items, your whole class gets a pancake breakfast. So there is that reward factor that could take away from the fact of, yeah, we're giving to charity, we're giving to the food bank. But at the same time, it's also getting more food donations. So it's getting rid of the fact of we're giving to charity because it's a good idea. Then it changes it to, yeah, we want food, we want a pancake breakfast. So it's complicated because one way you might get more food and the other way you might get less, but you get more people that are doing it for the right reason.
Thank you, Sam.
That's interesting. I've never thought about that, but I feel like the best way to like share with other students, service learning is to just tell them about it. Tell them about what it means to you and the experiences that you've had out of it. Share your passion with them, but also not just talk about your experience, but other ones available, because not one experience is right for everyone. So tell them other things that they could go out and do, or they could get involved in. Maybe even start up a program at your school. That way it's more local for them and they can kind of see it before they join in, or ask them if they want to go with you sometime and just check it out.
I agree on Sam on this question, because in my school, the student council did give a reward or will give a reward this year, because we have an annual fundraiser for Save the Children. And the one that raised most money get AirPods, and the one that gets take the best photo during the fundraiser gets AirPods, and the class that raised the most money gets a cozy class, as they said. And I think the reason they did that is because when we have fundraisers at school, not everyone is really excited to join, because you have to donate $30, I think. Everyone have to do it, or you get a punishment or something. So I think it's a great way to spark engagement with students. they'll get something they really want, like AirPods. That's really popular in my school. So I think that is a good thing, especially with my school.
Thank you, Caroline, for that perspective.
So I agree with Darcy in the sense that when you bring a friend or when you introduce a new initiative to a friend, it's more likely that they will join you. And I think that's a great idea because even if they weren't interested in the initiative, now they have a reason to be, and that friend can now promote it to another friend and so on. And in terms of the rewards, I think giving a reward to a group that showed the most initiative can also help promote the initiative even more. So maybe in the future, another class can be like, let's support this fundraiser even more so we can win. And even though their introduction wasn't necessarily for the initiative, they can now be advocates for the initiative in the future. So I think having a reward system like that could potentially benefit the number of people that are going to join the fundraiser.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I know I just wanted to jump in, and Erin, I'm sure you've had this experience because you're at my school, but one of the things we do at our school is we have a sandwich run, and it's part of our course. And Erin, do you want to describe what that is rather than me?
Yeah, sure. So I actually did it in my grade 11 religion class. And essentially, we make sandwiches and go downtown and give out sandwiches to people that do not have a home or are less fortunate or living on the streets. And it was actually a very eye-opening experience because I didn't know what their living conditions were like. But also, it was kind of nice to know that they're very willing to one, accept those gifts, but they're actually very sweet people that are just like us. And knowing that you're helping someone on a person to person, like one-on-one basis, is a lot more rewarding. And it's nice to hear stories from like our guide, for example, that took us around and know more about their living styles so that I know how to help them in the future.
Yes, and so I think that's an amazing program. It's kind of like, well, you have to go because it's part of your course. So in some ways, it's an external motivation. And maybe that's true for all of the activities we're talking about. But then when you feel, I think it was Wyatt who told us before about how good it makes you feel afterwards, or as you just suggested, Erin, you know, the eye-opening experience, then that might lead you to do something else. So I just wanted to share what that was all about. Does anyone else have something to add for this question? All right, and I think it's pretty quiet on YouTube. I think we had Mr. Lombropoulos' class join, but maybe they were quiet. So if you are listening, hello, Mr. Lombropoulos' class. Maybe you could have a conversation with us afterwards or join the Twitter chat. And to everyone else who maybe didn't get a chance to contribute to the conversation now, certainly Michael is going to tell you a little bit more about how you can continue the conversation.
Yeah, thanks so much to all of our student panelists for leading this important conversation. You are all modeling what service learning can look like and should look like, so thank you for that. Thank you everyone that joined us live for today's Tweet and Talk, for everyone that will join after the fact on the Twitter slow chat. So we're going to keep the conversation going by answering our slow chat using the hashtag GlobalEdSsChat, SS for students. Our team would love to interact with you there. You can visit our website at GlobalEdSsChat.com or on our Twitter at GlobalEdSsChat. Keep an eye out for details on next month's chat, which will revolve around building school culture. This one will take place on December 10th. We hope that you'll join us, and thank you again, and see you online.
Thank you, everyone, and thanks so much to our special guests for joining us here today, and our team, of course. Have a great day.